This unboxing was brought to you in part by the delicious makers of Diet Coke, the delicious drink. I wish. Hello, once again, and welcome to the show. Bass and Bonsai, we're back in the house, and today we got an unboxing. And why do we have an unboxing this early? Because as much as I've dogged Tackle Warehouse over the couple years, I need to give them their props when they are due. I got a Chipotle fork laying here. What did I use that for? Anyway, we have a package from Tackle Warehouse that's made it on a Wednesday. We ordered it on the weekend, and that means they are back to the way a lot of us used to originally remember. It was cool that you could jump online store, purchase something, and would make it back to you to fishing. It was kind of the norm when they first uh, started, and some other places like Omnia Fishing and different ones will say that they will, Carl's and all this and that. But Tackle Warehouse is kind of the OG. I mean, just like you can call Bass Pro Shops the OG, Bass Pro Shop place that's been around for years. Other than I'm sure there's some mom and pop ones floating around that have always stayed small, but Tackle Warehouse, as far as I know, we're like one of the first ones that are still around that had a lot of the baits that you may be wanting. So anyway, I won't take forever on that. Let me get another drink of Diet Coke, though. You know how it goes. But before we get to the unboxing and talk about how good Tackle Warehouse is and how good all these baits are, except for the ones that don't last, but they do get bit. Let's talk about what one of you guys, I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names. I can picture your name on the comment section, but I cannot remember it. I can't say it. Anyway, they made a comment about, because I compared, and if you guys aren't watching Poague, also go watch those. Some of you guys have the watch board has definitely dwindled from the first one to the second to the third to the fourth to the fifth. You only got a few more to go. There's only 7 of those. Part 7, I think, is the last one. It's an hour long. And once they're all out, I'm going to put them together in their own little playlist, and you'll be able to, if you wanted to go back and bore yourself to death on I caught fish, but in all honesty, a full day of fishing until you condense it down in a video, it can get rather boring. Like it's one of those. It's like a decent movie. You watch it once, you've seen it for 20 years. You don't need to watch it again. A real good movie, you'll go back and watch over and over again. I've got several videos like that. You guys, if you haven't watched them, go back and watch them until you find the ones that you want to watch again. But at Poague, this dude, this is the only rattle trap I've tried at Poague that seems to have kicked in and worked. And I don't know if I just hit the right one. I didn't even change it out, and I didn't even really get into a lot of testing. It was just working, so I stuck with it. So I made the comment, and that's what it brings me to this. We're going to check out some different baits. I'm almost 100% sure this was originally an Xcalibur Xr50. Sorry, not Xr50. The Xr50s are just like the, because I have one somewhere right here. The Xr50 was the exact as the Booyah hardknocker in the half ounce. If you guys are, and I know, hang on, I'm going to get to that. So this would have been actually the KR, which is, I got one right here. So they are called, I think that's right. Or no, were they called Xr50s? I thought they were something was different about them. But anyway, they have just like the Booyah hard knocker and the one knocker. These were the one knockers. But I said a long time ago, I forget where the information, I can't track it down again. It was just a couple forum things and a couple. It started with the dude on eBay that was selling hard knockers, saying that they're the same as the Xcaliburs. But then I don't know. There's a few different resources I found that makes me believe that also. Not to mention the fact, not this one, because Norm Coulter painted it, and it caught us fish. But the fact that I've owned several, I still have a few, and I've got a crawdad one, and I think one other one. So in the half ounce, I never did get Xcalibur in a bigger than that's. Like I've talked about several videos back in the day. All I fished was half ounce, right? I know I was getting out there. So this one, I've scraped a little bit of the paint off, but it does have both eyes. This is just an Xr50. This is a Booyah hard knocker. So not only, if you guys look, I mean, you could try to go into arguments over the patterning, even down to, like, I'll try to show you in the lighting. See how when you turn this, there's like a defined line where it separates. You guys see what I'm talking about? I've eyeballed these over and over several different baits when I first, heard that and was checking into it. If they didn't buy the patent or, the copy, the molds from the Xcaliburs, they sure in the heck did and we're trying to do an exact duplicate copy of the bait because you couldn't get it any more of the same. And in my experience, I've had several guys argue this, like, oh no, the Xcaliburs fish way better. If anything, I've had better luck when I switched and started getting Booyah hard knockers. But I also went from just dealing with 1/2 ounce to 1/2 and 3/4. So somebody made the comment that there's like a big weight difference is why they're not the same. So now this dude's missing an eye. I don't even know what an eye weighs. I don't even want to pop one off. I guess I could pop one off or pop both off and just not weigh the eyes kind of thing. But just to show you what I've found on our findings. So Xcalibur, hopefully you guys, I think you guys can see that. 17 grams, right? So I think they're supposed to weigh, now maybe it's 1/2 ounce with the without hooks or whatever. And they both do have they do have different hooks, I think. No, actually those hooks look identical. The hooks even look identical. Booyah bought the hooks from them. I don't know. So anyway, well, that almost went 17 once. So 17 grams. This one does have a smaller rubber band. Maybe I should pull the rubber bands off. Maybe we should pop an eye off something else. Oh my God. Let's just do it up. You guys know me. The real test says he's the most thorough real tester. I'm the most thorough what do you call it? No, not tester. I'm the most thorough BSer that there is. So let's just cut this off and reweigh it. Oh my God. I don't want to, these are old anyway. And honestly, these two are going back in that thing because I don't fish these enough. They're going bye-bye. It's the color. It's not the bait. The 1/2 ounce is awesome. I could keep them. Norm Coulter won't paint no more for me, and I don't know. You guys comment if you guys have anybody paint yours. So there's one. Still weighs 17 grams. Okay, 17 grams. Here's one, and the eye probably won't make a bit of difference. But here is the Booyah. And it's going to weigh less. 16.7. So there is some discrepancy there, right? I don't even know what an eye weighs. Let's pop this eye off. Oh my God. Okay, I was going to say it shouldn't be too hard. Nope, still 16.7. So there is a slight difference in weight. And I do have another one here. Why did I even do that? This one, here's one right here. Let's pull that one off. He's going back in my box. Oh, that thing broke anyway. Get off of there. So here is a 1/2 ounce Booyah hard knocker, both eyes. And it may even be slight. Sometimes they do vary. Oh, no, wait. This one. Now, I think this is an older Booyah. It does have older. See the hooks? The hooks are different on the newer Booyahs. I was going to say, I thought the hooks were different. So I think this is an older one that I've had for I don't know how long. So maybe they stuck with the exact Xcalibur and then now they've switched over the years. I'll get that eye off there. Let's just shut this off and back on. Let's redo it. Let's start all over. I guess that would have been a closer one because it does come with the same kind of hook. So 16, well, now it went to 16.9. So somewhere right in there. 16.6. So, and then let's reweigh this dude with his eye. The one knockers are heavier. So 16.7, 16.6, 16.9. But you see what I'm getting at? They're close. So I'm sure you could probably find some lighter in these in the Xcaliburs or whatever, and a lot of that is the paint. So if you see this one's transparent, and a thick coat of paint on these will definitely change the weight over what a little one of those little plastic eyes will, kind of thing. Or it all could add up. So in my opinion, it still doesn't, it still leads me to believe that they're the exact same bait. Like I'm talking even the little, when you compare them, you can look and you can see the little, this one shows up better on camera. Just the little cuts, there's a little cut out like there. And if you really look at these, all these baits, they are like the identical mold. To me, they have the same sound, or it's so close, like I can't tell the difference, so I'm sure it wouldn't matter. Yeah. So anyway, I've wasted too much time on that. You still can't convince me that they're totally different. They don't make these anymore. I can't remember what I paid for these. Probably a touch more than I should. I didn't pay a ton for them, but I did get some on a whatever. But they're in my those colors anyway, and even the Booyah hard knocker, that color. Just never had much luck with that. That bright of a really as I do with the other ones, the Toledo Gold. So I already have a couple of those. So that goes bye bye. Do have good luck with these. They're staying in my box. The whites and the a few other ones, but I pulled this guy out of the box just to give him another chance because it's also a different. I'll talk about that, and then I'm going to go on to the unboxing. But it's a cheap one, and it is relatively cheap from AliExpress, but it has a total different than a lot of your other ones. Like most of your, what we know as a lipless, has a flat spot on the head to help give it the vibration. This one doesn't vibrate as much, but can be reeled, I guess, in a sense, faster, but still stay down or whatever you're trying to do. So I'm going to give it another shot. I'm giving that old kind of a ghosty, almost a little too much yellow, but sometimes that color actually can't work. So anyway, let's check. Somebody chicken fried steak. How's it going? Going to eat tonight. Not eating chicken fried steak though. Going to Olive Garden. Yeah, I know. Bougie, right? I wanted to go to Carrabba's, but somebody didn't want to go to Carrabba's. Going to Olive Garden. It's not really a special occasion. It's just, yeah. So let's get the sticky baits out of the way, the ones that'll stick in. I don't know what I'm going to do with that eye. Actually, I know what I'm going to do with that eye. I'm going to put it back on this bait. Let's do that right now. Let's just, man, that was a nice segue into what we're going to do. I know, we're going to get to the unboxing. You guys know, if you know the channel, you know, we're going to get to it. I'm not even going to clean it or nothing. I'm just going to slap some super glue on it, pop that eye on, and call it good. But while we're super gluing stuff, hopefully my super glue is still good. If you guys remember right, the frog, the horrible frog, remember this from the other video? I didn't even include this in that, what I was going to talk about in this video. But while we're gluing, this frog, I figured out which way the legs go. It's just like in a automobile. If the car's going this way, you're right, left, passenger. That's it. Driver's side, passenger side in a car. But yeah, so the R and L go on the bottom side like that. So if yours pop off and you're like, oh my God, which way did it go? Just remember, it's the same thing, just like a vehicle driving down the road. If you're trying, don't put them on like that. The letters go on the bottom side. So just like a person, right leg, left leg, and then you do the hokey pokey. All right, so I haven't glued these, and you think it takes like that takes a little bit to come off, but man, I'm telling you, backlash, poof, legs, they go flying. It's like go get the legs. Not fun. So we're gonna glue stuff on first. What do I do with the glue? We're gonna see if our glue is working. We may have to get another bottle. These are the little cheap ones. You go to the Dollar Tree, and for $1, well now $1.25. But you can get these little things of glue and just throw them around all over, and it's actually pretty good glue. I mean, how hard it is to make super glue? I don't know how hard it is, but I'm gonna glue that eye on, I think. Now what I'll probably do once that, you guys won't see that part, but set that off to the side. I hope it got down in there right. And then I'm actually probably going to put a little, once that's solid on there, I'm going to put a little ring around it just to help hold that eye in. So let's set him off to the side. Now the frog, what I'm going to do, just so I don't have that little happening, like I want to have a little, if it has a little backlash or if something pulled on it very hard, I'd like for the leg to stay on as long as possible. So if you remember right, the right side we're going to put on right here. So I'm just going to think I'm going to put just a drop. I'm not going to like coat the whole thing, but I think I'm just going to put, if you guys watch this, I'm going to put it right here, just like that. It's kind of a drop now. It's probably even more than I wanted to, but then I'm just going to stuff that leg on, and however glued it is, that's just how glued it is. Now I know, I just glued that leg on. If it rips off, I'm going to have to actually cut that off probably with a knife or something, but I don't want that leg to go anywhere. So then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I'm just going to put a drop. Hopefully you guys, so about as much, maybe a touch less. So that right there should keep those things on until I want them off or physically rip. I know some of you might say, well, you'd want it to pull off if a frog, something really had a good hold of it, and then you could always go retrieve the leg and all this, and I ain't gonna worry about that on this batch. If it happens, I'm gonna go back with the spares, and then yeah, I just won't glue them on no more. I'll cut all that gunk off, and I'll just leave them like that and go fetch them if I have a little backlash. But for now, we're gluing them on. So we're gonna set that off to the side. Well, look out there, frog. And in case you don't remember, if you heard me dogging this, and you're like, well, you were dogging that a little bit ago. Now you make sure you don't put too much super glue, so don't glue this on. But if you see that little springy thing sticking out, the issue I had with mine was it was actually catching on when you went all the way in. It was catching on the paint or whatever. I just scraped the crap out of that until I could not get it to stick again. That spring will not stick, so it should do what it's supposed to do. We're still going to get it on the water and kind of give it, we're going to give it another shot. We still are up in there. Is this a good frog or not? Right out of the package, mine was not. It needed that work done to it. So now, let's get to the unboxing. But wait, there's more. Let me get this out of the way. So what we're trying to do, let's talk about the contenders and what we're trying to see. If you haven't watched the video, I've talked about it briefly in one of the other live streams. There's a Guggen bait, the bandito bug. I noticed that if you guys comment, also, I don't follow the whole Major League Fishing and all them that much. I do watch some videos here and there, but I was watching Wheeler out winning from like last year or whatever, and he definitely had this is a junior, he had a full-size bandito bug, black and blue. But I never heard him say bandito bug. Like, is he not with the Guggens anymore or something? Why he didn't call it that? Or is that a prototype of some other company? Or pretty sure, 100% sure it was the exact shape as this, but, full size one, black and blue. It was punching mats or something with it. But anyway, that's the Strike King color that we fell in love with. So far, it's not really technically let me down. And then I don't even have one out of the actual, I got a bait here somewhere. Because we've also had some decent luck on, well, I say that and I don't. Well, I don't. But anyway, we went on a little warpath and we bought some striking baits in that color. We bought the Magnum Game Hog, the Game Hog, the Ocho, and then I bought this color, which Honey Candy seems like a good color, and it does work, but I think that's the only bait I've seen it in, Honey Candy. But it doesn't really matter, because I'm going to try to weed myself off of these Strike King baits, because in the brief time I was out there fishing, man, these things fall off quick. But yeah, the Ocho does, that everything works basically in the colors, but longevity on these dudes is not good. The only thing I don't think I got hit on was with the Rage Craw. Like those, I have not. I had one on a jig. I had one on a wobble head somewhere. I think I took it back off, but I didn't get bit with these when I did try them. All the other ones I think worked. Even the little. But I also bought it in the little like finesse worm. I can't remember if I think I just put that on a shaky head. Maybe I drop shotted it. No, I think I just put that on a shaky head, and it does work too, but it falls off quick. So the whole time I'm thinking, man, I need a Z-Man to have this color or something because this color is not far off the Green Pumpkin Magic, and then I think it's called Green Pumpkin Magic. Also, Reaction Innovation has, but then they're not real far off. Well, Charles, of all people, not me, Charles had Zinkers in a Canada Craw, and he started using it, and it seemed to be maybe not 100% getting it as hit as much as this color in that wherever it went, the Ocho. I mean, maybe you could say, I think I went through one or two worms. You could say that this was getting hit faster, but I mean it was like right there close. So I'm like, you know what? We were in Dinksville, and I didn't want to just go wasting all these plastics on little dinks that we knew were hitting. So I'm like, give me one of your worms. He gave me one of his. I used it the rest of the day, and they gave it back to him. He still has it. It's still perfectly fine. Caught a bunch of dinks with it. So I was like, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do, Charles? I'm gonna order every Z-Man bait that they make in that color and just get it in and try it. And so what did I do? You know what I did. That's exactly what I did. So here it is. Let's just pull out and see how many different baits, soft plastic, Elaztech that Z-Man makes in that Canada Craw. And I told Charles this too. I was like, those Canadians have been telling me all spring and summer long. Those Canadian geese are everywhere, honking, carrying on. And the whole time, I don't speak Canadian. They were telling me, dude, Canada Craw. That's the color you need to be throwing. Right? I know. It's weird. It's crazy. It's insane. Am I insane? No. But there's more. Before I go into how many baits they make, let's just pull out a few other baits that I got that I just wanted to also try. So this color, I'll be honest, the Bomba Bug has never been the greatest color in the world for me. It looks so good. It reminds me, it's got the kind of green, right? Almost like a green pumpkiny, June buggy. And I'm not saying it won't work. Now, boar hogs, they've been kind of a letdown too. But I figured on my wobble heads, I'm going to try these also, maybe this color, but I needed to try a true June bug color. So, although it may look, I mean, it looks real close right there, but it is June bug all the way around. And it's, so I just wanted to get the June bug and the boar hogs. Because if any color can get a boar hogs to get hit at this time of year, especially, it should be a June bug. So we got them. Then peanut butter and jelly. You guys know I've talked about peanut butter and jelly. I'm kind of sorting through these baits here. So I figured, what better uh, color to, if I'm gonna try, because I'm just gonna try them. I'm not a big fisherman on these. Like, I'm not big on this bait I'm getting ready to show you. Uh-oh. Pasta. Chicken fried steak is making lasagna. Now, you don't hear that said every day. But that's right here. Snuck it in on you. The tubes. You guys comment if you've ever tried these or used tubes in general or whatever. But I've watched both Charles and Matt use a tube, not Z-Man stuff, and do pretty good. I don't even have heads. I don't even have anything this fit on. Most I could probably do is rig it on something I already have at the moment, just to throw it out there and try it. But they make the special jigs for tubes, in case you guys don't know about it. I've just never been a fan of the tubes. Back in the 80s or whenever I was first, I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then if you guys remember oh shoot, the flying lure, that the old Roland Martin helicopter lure was a nut. They had like a flying lure. It was basically like one of these flat, and you rigged it up and it swam back, kind of like what now everybody's doing with that bottom bouncing deal. But so anyway, the tubes, you can honestly rig these like that too. You can rig a tube to where it'll shoot away from you, like you're throwing under docks or something. You can do that with these. So anyway, I just wanted to give those a try, and I figured peanut butter and jelly would be the way to start. But if I'm going to get just that, I also went not Canadian craw, California craw, because I try to make myself like this color. I've got palmetto bugs in that. That color looks good to me. I've yet to find a big bass that agrees with me. I found a few dinks. That's what it's about. It's about finding something that you like and big bass like. That's the whole key to bass fishing. I mean, it's that simple. But I did get another pack. Oh, and I found another color. While I was looking for all the Canada Craws that they have, I found another color. So I'm going to show this one to you guys right now. And I know somebody's already saying it. But they make a green pumpkin goby. And I don't know what's different. That green pumpkin doesn't look as green pumpkin to me. Like, I guess maybe it is, and this may be the color I want, but they don't, unfortunately, they don't have a ton of these. So I got that in a tube just to try, and I got a couple other colors in that we're going to show in a minute. So then, of course, I had to get the Canada Craw. So in case you guys haven't seen the Canada Craw, now the biggest difference I see, I think the body color is almost identical to this, and the tentacles or whatever is very close to most of these baits. So you basically have a gold and red flake. It's about the only difference I see. So I don't know what the red looks like or whatever, but this color was definitely on. And I've had it, and I had the Canada Craw on something. I want to say either the little TRD bug or something. So anyway, I had to get another pack of those. So I think we're down to everything that comes in that color. Oh wait, there's one other one. So maybe I got the big and the little. Oh, I think I did because I don't think they make the Canada Craw in these trick shots, but they did the green pumpkin goby. So I got the 4.2 and the little ones. They're coming tomorrow, the next day. They must have not been there when they shipped them. So I got the green pumpkin goby in that, which that should, if these are getting hit on a drop shot, that should get hit. So let me make sure. Okay, now we can go to the rest of them. So of course, these little dudes, I can believe I thought I had a pack of these, but I got like almost every other color, but I didn't have Canada Craw, so I picked up another pack. I do have multiples of these. Put them on a little Ned Rig, TRD, whatever. You can actually put these. If you guys remember, one of the first things I started using them for was putting them on the back of those little chatterbaits. They are excellent. Like when I first started fishing chatterbait naked, and I'd put these little dudes on, and so that's multiple crazy things you can do with this, from kind of what they are intended to, a little TRD, back of any of your real little small, any real extra finessey small stuff rigged by themselves. I think it was somebody talking about, I think it was Matt Allen from Tactical Bass and talking about like on a little EWG style hook, like a small Texas rig, which is basically, you can also a smaller shaky head to get them weedless kind of thing. But anyway, all right, let's get this box unboxed. So here are the rest of the baits that come in. Oh wait, I got one more other color. And I didn't even realize this. This is the color. I knew they had Canada Craw and a lot in Zinkers, but I didn't realize they had this color. The green pumpkin goby that I've already got and all the other stuff now. They make it also in a Zinkers. I didn't realize that. So once I saw it, I'm like, yeah, we got to at least get it. Watch all these colors suck now. But the let's just go with the color and the bait that started this whole chaos, right? Was this thing right here, Canada Craw in a Zinkers. Charles had a pack of these. Like I said, I used one. He was using one. Put it back in the package when he was done. I gave him mine back, put it back in the package, and then he used one, I think, to turn into a TRD, which you could do that. You just cut one of these in any of these colors Zinkers. You just cut it basically in half, cut it right in half, and you can use both as a TRD. You know, if you want to get technical, you could just cut one down some, use it as a big TRD. You're not going to use it as a giant TRD because it's not big enough around. But yeah, you can switch around your Zinkers. You basically have TRDs after they get old. Now, if you want it to stand up, you stretch out a Zinkers enough, it gets old enough, it gets buoyant, just like the TRDs do. So they get lighter in color. Also, that's another thing I guess I just now thought of that I didn't even mention this whole time. Most of these, and even this color should, as you're looking at it, almost every Zinkers for sure is so much salt. As it stretches, they usually, almost every color in a Zinkers will lighten up. It will get like a lighter hue, tone, whatever you want to call it. So all of these should be, they look pretty dark right now, like compared to this bait. And that's what this guy was doing. He was darkening up, and if anything, was going away from as green looking to more of a brown, which I think has made it uh, closer to that color that we like in the Strike King baits. But those are just, all these are awesome colors. I'm just hoping now we can get on some bites with some of these and make a pack last maybe the rest of the summer, month, whatever, not just the fishing trip kind of deal. So I tried to make myself like, if this color and that June bug on a wobble head or on you know, different ways basically, I can't make myself like these boar hogs. I'm never buying any more again. These things should get bit. I don't understand why me and my just the luck I've had with them, I wouldn't call that great. Now you guys comment if you've had any luck with them. But they also make, and I guess this was the one that was the most surprising to me. I didn't even, why I never even bought these. I thought I looked at them. Maybe I didn't look at them. But they do make these, and you can tell that there is a difference. There's a top and a bottom to the Canada Craws in certain ones. Like, it's hard to tell. Like when I'm looking at this, I can't really see a top and a bottom. I don't know, you guys comment if you can. It's hard to like tell, like, oh, that's the top and that's the bottom in almost all of these. But if the Zinkers, we could, Charles, like, yeah, there is a one side's darker than the other, but I got them in the goat. I even went ahead and got the big billy goat, the goat, and baby goat. So the Canada Craw, as you can see in this, for sure, there's a top and a bottom to it. There's a belly that is like that crazy bright, and then a top to it. So of course, you know, the little mini and micro chatterbaits, very small little jig, you know, whatever. So far, I've found these by themselves. Like I've tried them briefly on like a wobble head, or just trying them by themselves. They need like a skirt to go. They're so smooth. I think they're, all you have is the legs kicking. They're just not. I mean, maybe the little one just on a TRD might, since it's so small, but I feel they need to be on some sort of little either, you know, finesse jig with some kind of skirting, or I plan on trying. I'm going to try uh, this on the back of the small, the little mini Max is what I'm going to try. I've got several other, the regular baby goats, because I bought some, if you guys remember right. Some of you guys say you run these on your regular chatterbaits. I think they're way too small for regular chatterbait, but they may be perfect for the little, you know, it's like a alternative for these little mini Maxes. So I'm going to start using them on that, and I may start investing in a couple other color mini Maxes. But so far, I think something to do with the color and the overall whatever. But that little bluegill one. So anyway, Chick Fresh Sake says, funny thing, nobody here in Cali uses California Craw Color. Yeah, I don't know why it started, why they call it California Craw. I haven't read into all that. I mean, you have the, you know, Tennessee shad, the this, to that, and I get it, but I don't know what the story. I don't know any of the backstory to almost any of these colors that have the name of the, you know, state or region or whatever they're called, and what there is. You know, the Drew's Craw. I don't know what that is. It's a color from Z-Man. They got the California Craw, Canada Craw, all those kind of things. And I know there's a lot of Falcon Lake, typically with a little more red in it and different stuff. Says his craws are dark orangish red, fading to gray or black. So you like the bugs on the EWG net head, so like you're basically rigging it towards weedless. Not enough finesse. What are you talking about? Yeah, Chicken Fried Steak says he's trying to boar hogs a couple times for the first time this year. No luck. I tried them when they first, like when, I don't know, when I first messed with the Z-Man stuff, and I've just never. I think I had black and blue from the get-go. I can't remember. I want to say I started with was it June bug and black and blue? But I definitely had a black and blue, and I tried to. What I originally got them for, I believe, was as I wanted to see and test them out as a trailer for chatterbaits. So I had a couple black and blue, and then another color. I remember getting them and cutting, putting them on like horrible luck as a chatterbait trailer. But then I think I've tried them by themselves with other jigs, but I'm going to give them a shot. Like, I'm going to give a lot of these baits this a shot on jigs and just by itself on like a wobble head, along with the goat. I guess I didn't really mention this yet. I should talk about it now. I ordered also some stuff from AliExpress. But here's what I'm going to try. If you guys remember right, I have the little fuzzy dice too that are going crazy, insane. It's like everybody's buying the fuzzy dice thing, right? I tried them once at Poague. I didn't have any luck. I haven't really tried it since then. But it gave me the idea. And the ultraviolet baits that I can't remember who makes them now. You guys know the ones that they're basically soft plastic and they got all the skirting material sticking out of them, the UV, whatever. I think maybe with some, especially some of these baits like Elaztech, that the bait's going to last forever anyway. It may be worthwhile to kind of make your own, baits to rig up on some of these wobble heads. That's what somewhere I got a couple wobble heads, whether it be like these structure wobble heads from Strike King. There's a couple brands that may be Bass Pro. I can't remember, but you get out there with just the soft plastic. Now the Bandito bug should have enough appendages if you want to try like these that already have a bunch. But like the few that come to mind are ones that sort of are intended to be as trailer type stuff or punching type stuff. But if you wanted to try to rig them on, to use it more out in open water, that what you could do is add a little bit of skirting material that would let you, though, be more versatile, whether it be a wobble head or whatever. So those they sell a kit on AliExpress to make your own dice. I guess so you can change the colors or whatever. But they've got this little punch pin looking thing that comes with it, like a little handle, and so you punch the skirt stuff through. So I ordered just that kit for the reason of getting that, and then I can bring. If you guys couldn't tell by now, I have a ton of different colors that I like, and could try different ones. But to basically add some stuff to this Z-Man stuff, mainly these goats. I'm thinking that the goat, I like the way it kicks, but you could do the same thing with like a spicy beaver, any of the rage type things that are more for punching, but you like the way they work over their rage bug, the actual bug stuff. But I think Z-Man's got a pretty good thing here, but they don't have it in enough of a body to work by itself. I keep wanting to say standalone because I've watched Fast and Furious too much. So anyway, there's a lot to be looking forward to on that. On just to see what kind of crazy contraptions I come up with once that thing does come in and that kind of deal. If I don't get bit this weekend, got 4th of July weekend, which I have to work Monday. There's Monday in between there, but Saturday and Sunday morning, and then Tuesday morning, I will be out fishing until I get rained on or it gets hot. Right as right now, they're calling for rain, like for sure Saturday, and then a partial little bit on Sunday, and then Tuesday looks good. But I'm gonna rig some of these baits up certain ways now. Other ones, I'm just gonna take them all out there with me and see what's going on where I'm fishing. I'm gonna try to, unless I do. I think I'm going Saturday with Matt and then Sunday with Charles. If I do real good, if we do real well Saturday, because Matt's talking about hitting it again on Tuesday, I may go back to that spot. But so far, just off the top of my head, I think I'm gonna go with Matt. So you're talking Lake Lafayette Saturday. This color should be good. Now Matt's saying they're catching them on some big ones on drop shot, so possibly that color on a drop shot, right? And I have several other different things. Or you could always go with this Strike King, because I will be breaking out the Strike King one. I'm in a place where I know there's a chance of big ones. I'll kind of be trying these and putting them also head to head on so like this little finesse worm, and then the Z-Man, the little finesse worms, they don't make in a Canada Craw. But so we'll be able to put up our Ocho color, probably versus both colors of our, because I already sort of had them put up against the Canada Craw, but then I was just curious to also this dude, green pumpkin, purple goby. So yeah, it'll be a fun weekend. Lake Lafayette, Charles, probably going to be Tom's part 57 and a half. I don't know, but that was where we did the Whopper Plopper video, and one of the biggest videos in a while, when just me and Olivia were out there in the rain and finally caught one on a swim bait, and she was just catching them right and left, and it was just a good fun day, and it wasn't hot. That was nice about that. But then Tuesday, if I go by myself, I'll probably end up just hitting Poague again. And I'm going to tell you why. Poague is Dinksville, and that is probably all it might be, but there is a slight chance. I will basically go back, if I go back to Poague. And if you guys haven't watched these 7 videos that are coming out, a few more to go, watch them. Like, there are certain areas in Poague that I've hit it enough times that, like, there's really a spot where this bait shines, and it's where the grass is like, there's more grass everywhere and anywhere, so it seems like a chatterbait is a little over a spinnerbait. Then there are spots along the edges is where it seems like the spinnerbait, that one colored, brownish colored one, SV3 knockoff, seems like it's king in that area, and then like shaded areas. But then when we got out there with this dude, kind of out in the middle, it was kind of a rattle trappy type deal. Like it seemed like even if I tried to go slow roll a spinnerbait and pull it out of gunk, or the chatterbait, they just weren't as active as if I just spun that thing through there. And then I just never got on. They were, and I think what it was is they were just chasing a small bait fish. So it'll be a week or so. So it may have changed, but I will kind of start with that same kind of deal in mind. But I could not get on a bottom bouncing bite to save my life that day. And I just knew that something would kick in, and that may be where the biggest fish came from. Biggest fish came from a jig, but I was more or less actually swimming it. If you guys watch video, that kind of chartreusey, bright and loud, and moving it fairly quick. But that's what, like, the almost a big fish day. It wasn't that big, but so I don't know. I may, who knows? Unless Charles wants to fish more than one day. I think he said Saturday or Sunday. So I said let's hit Tom's on Sunday, because if you're looking at places to go, and if they run north and south or east and west, look at the wind and see where your wind's coming. If you got strong winds blowing right down the thing, a lot of times you better off to go hit somewhere else. If it, crazy strong winds kind of deal, it just makes it, unless you don't mind braving the elements, because it's usually better when it's windy, but sometimes it's just too strong. So anyway, hopefully you like this video. I'm going to get out of here, start getting some of this ready. Like I said, and I got to go to dinner. And if I get back early enough, I may go ahead and, I'll finish up what I was doing. I forgot to mention completely about, you're going to see another video. I'll probably either drop it on Sunday, possibly just wait till the 4th of July, but it's going to be the first video that has our latest Whopper Plopper big bass, 2 bass within a short period of time, but it's tagged on to our big bass from the first grass pit, the first time and only time we've been to that grass pit, and then that day where me, Matt, and Maddie were fishing, and I was just trying to poison the drin out, because I had a couple of you also try to tell me that their P5 is more versatile than the poison adrena 611 medium plus. So I just want to put together a video showing just how many fish, how big a fish, how big a baits, how little a baits I've thrown in the short time I've owned that thing, and it seems like it'll handle it. Now, you don't want to go throwing a Ned rig with it like day in and day out, but it will do it. I don't know if you want to throw a big Whopper Plopper 130 with it day in and day out, but it'll do that no problem. Caught a giant bass, caught another big one on it. Like I mentioned in the Poague video, I'm kind of getting settled in on, I like it for rattle traps. It's almost feels like it could be too much for a 1/2 ounce, but honestly the 1/2 ounce and a 3/4, it seems like as far as the rods I have, it's the better of them. Now, if I had to pick a rod that is also real good for 1/2 ounce, the blade. The blade is probably the best rod I have for a 1/2 ounce lipless, right? Because it's kind of, I think it's made for those little smaller blade bait kind of things and a lot of other stuff, but it works for rattle traps, bladed jigs. Uh, like, it's an awesome rod, but it's a little shorter and it's a touch softer than that 611 medium plus. So I think they both go down about the same way. I think they could also, I could get away with throwing Ned rigs and all that with it. But then when it comes to the upper end and distance, that 611 medium plus beats it out. Then I got the Super Destroyer on this end. Hands down, when you come to this, it'll probably do it, but you're going to chance of just ripping it out of there. That Super Destroyer is pretty stout, but it's parabolic, but it's a pretty strong rod. But 3/4 ounce, and then everything up that way, yeah, I would probably say you could pick the Super Destroyer over the 611 medium plus. So say 3/4 ounce rattle traps, 1/4 ounce and up, jigs, bouncing stuff off, from these little wobble heads. Where's that one at? Even this little guy with not a crazy big hook or whatever. It's kind of a light wire, but not really. I mean, I think, honestly, the Super Destroyer is hard to beat. But if you go to like a true Shakey head, that VMC that's got a little finer wire than this, a little 2 size, whatever, they're not far from the different sizes. But then that's where the Super Destroyer, it just can't, it just can't get that low and be that finessey and that, it's just too stout of a rod. But that 611 medium plus and all the, take swim baiting out of it. But in everything I do, other than maybe this guy, it will handle all that. Like this guy, this Super Destroyer tequila back rack only. Like I try to, not saying you can't go out there and set a hook with even the blade or, whatever, but you try to set a hook with anything less than the Super Destroyer, you're in problems. So if you're throwing 3/8, 1/2 ounce jigs, 3/4 ounce rattle traps, the bigger Z-Man original, chatterbaits, the regular, big full size 1/2 to 3/4 ounce baits and all that kind of stuff, yeah, the Super Destroyer is probably your most versatile rod. It's all kind of has to do with you and what bait you're throwing also. But in my little honey hole wheelhouse, the Poison Adrena can't be beat by any of my other P5s. Now, I'm not saying I can't get one that could beat it. And I'm also not saying the Poison Adrena rods are better than the P5s, because they're not. The P5 has just a touch lighter, crisper, more parabolic, but it still gets the job done than over the Poison Adrena lineup, in my opinion. But they are, well, roughly they're about $100 more, but you can get them from Digitaka, and they're really not that much difference if you can only find the Poison Adrenas here locally, kind of thing. But you can only find some of the the Destroyers are only here in the States, like the ones that are made for the U.S. market. The JDM ones are the ones that Digitaka has. So anyway, they're not far off. Now, why I pick the Poison Adrena 611 medium plus over all the X Prides, and I've mentioned this in the Poague video also, but over an X Pride, over an SLX, over the Corrado, whatever that the other Shimano rods they make, is because that medium plus, I believe, unless you guys quote me that you know where one is, that line is the only place you can get the 611 medium plus. The X Pride doesn't come in it, the SLX, the Corrado, and all those. So you can get a 610 medium, which would also let you have a good jerkbait rod. And I'd call the 610 medium closer to what like my blade is, but not like it's not going to go very high on the upper end. Once you start getting up, like the blade, I don't want to go out and throw any kind of jigs. Like I could do it with these, but I don't really want to throw any bottom bouncing jig hook type set, other than I could get by with this one. But the minute I jump up to like this, I'm out. You know, this isn't that big. That first size in the biffle head, that fairly lightweight size and that fairly thin hook, it doesn't take a ton of a rod, but it doesn't hurt to have a little more since you're, if you've got it skin hooked, that kind of deal. So anyway, yeah, that video is coming out with kind of the versatility and the big bass that Poison Adrena has already caught. And I still, between it and the Super Destroyer, those are the two luckiest rods I have for big bass. Like, they can catch you some big bass. And you know what? I just now remembered something. Hang on one sec. Jesus, this video is never going to end. I just remembered something. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Hang on. Hold the phone. Hold everything. I almost let you guys slide out of here without preaching catch and release. Do you guys catch and release? Comment below if you catch and release or if you just keep them, eat them, you cannibalistic dogs. I'll be honest. I have eaten bass before. I still will. I've eaten way more crappie than I have any other fish. Catfish would probably be next. Just had catfish the other day. You guys haven't been to hang on. Trying to find something here. If you haven't been to, where did I even go? Oh, Texas Roadhouse. And their catfish is pretty good. And even the next day, like his leftovers, just heated back up, is still good. So let me get on here. Okay, let's look. Oh my God. So I want to show you guys something. Let me get here. So I'm gonna get done. I'm gonna get out of here within an hour, but catch and release right there, chicken fried steak. And please comment below if you guys do believe. All you guys should, especially if I've taught you anything about catching big fish. Don't tell me that you keep them, because first of all, maybe a 6-8 pound bass may taste the same as a 2-pound bass or whatever. But usually, as fish get bigger, the meat only gets it doesn't taste better. But you should catch and release fish. But if you guys remember, right, go look for it. I can't remember what it's called, but I've caught the same fish from a place. Oh dear Lord, from a place like a few times. Okay, the one with the cleft lip, I caught on a whopper plopper. I caught it on, I believe it was a Zinkers, cockatoo, and then I think I caught it on a whopper plopper again. But same place, different fish. If you guys remember right, if you go back and look, the Super Destroyer, when I first was actually using one of these in the Green Pumpkin Magic, Baby Brush Hog, it's like I just cast, and as soon as I engaged the reel, I just instantly had a fight going. It was like, I think it's been less than a month ago. So if you guys remember that fish? So I want you guys to look at that pattern. So that's the fish from that. So then over this one, you haven't seen it yet, on the Whopper Plopper 130 Tackle Warehouse one, bluegill color, I caught it on the Poison Adrena. Now, you'll see in the video, I called it right off the bat. Olivia's with me both times. I go, I think this is the same fish. So I want you guys, it's clear in this picture. The other one, it's not so much. There's a cloud. But I want you guys to look at this. If you look, you can clearly see an N, a V, and another N. And that's almost an A. I don't know what it spells, but, right? If you really look at these, you can almost like spell stuff out. So it's to do with bonsai. Back when I was into bonsai, you'd look at trees and plants and see animals and all that kind of stuff. I think it says horticultural. But anyway, if you look at those key things right there, and then if you look at this one, okay? So if you look, here's the N over here, the V, and the other N. Actually, that looks like an F. Almost like an A, but like an F. Depends on how you look at it. See how so you guys see that? It just depends on so that fish, and then you see this right here. See that like a F? I don't know if you guys can see that. So there's like, the fish looked identical, like it's a big football. I believe both times weighed 6 pounds 11 ounces. That picture definitely comes out like a lot clearer. But I can almost make out where it looks like an N, a V, another N, and then that's an A or an F. Depends on which way you turn to look at it, because the scale, the thing's a little different. I know it's like a Bigfoot photo, right? You're like, oh, dude, that's Photoshop. But I'm telling you, I just zoomed in on my pics, and if you look, so in other words, I think it's too rare that like that. And if you go just by the pattern, like just see how this one drops down. Actually, that's harder to see now for some reason. So you see, you just got the one mark there. It's kind of drops down right here. You got the one mark there, and it kind of drops down right there if you want to go by that too. But you can look at these pics. I've been studying them a little bit, like not forever, but I looked at them for like 5 minutes when I first went to double check it. And yeah, I believe 100% that's the same bass caught within just a few weeks, once on one of these, and then on a whopper plopper the second time. Super Destroyer, Poison Adrena, both rods. When it comes to that, and they're going sideways, and got to it, it was turning the boat and all that kind of stuff. It is just so important, if you ask me. It doesn't really matter what area you're in. Yeah, if you're down in Florida, maybe it's not as important to turn a 5 to 7 pound bass loose as it is, 10, 12 pounder, whatever. As it is like up here, if we catch 2 and 4 pounders, it's not going to be as big a deal. But honestly, a 4 pounder, it takes a while for a bass around here to get to 4 pounds. It's not like, oh, just wait 4 years. I bet you it takes longer than that. And I haven't really done all the research. I've not done any of the research, and I don't know what research says on it. But I always keep hearing like a fish, oh, it can gain up to a pound a year, but I don't think they gain that much in a year. Around here, I think that maybe in the first couple years you could get a fish that it's probably going to be because they're all around. You guys see them. Like that fish isn't like just spawned. They're what we call like quarter pounders with cheese. So I think they're like a quarter to a half pound the first year. Maybe once they start eating bigger stuff, they may jump up to a pound or so. But I think it takes quite a few years to get to a 4 pound bass around here. So when you get to 6, 8, I don't even know. Somebody comment. I should know what the Missouri state record is. I think Charles has told me a few times. I think it's only like 12 or 13 or something. But anyway, if you're out here taking and catching these 6, 7, 8 pound bass and keeping them, you just like takes a long time for a fish that big to get up to that, get there. So I've just always been a huge fan and think you should do that. Charles, shut up, Charles. Charles doesn't take as many big fish to fill the skillet. Yeah, so you can catch dumb ones over and over. If the big one will hit you, it'll hit you again. Here's my thoughts on it. Not even just that. It's kind of like if you go out and you weed out all the big, huge deer, aren't you going to eventually, you're downsizing the population? But now, I mean, everybody does the little plot feedings and this and that. They're making some huge deer or whatever. And I think the Japanese are doing the same thing with bass over there in some of their lakes. I think they're feeding the suckers. But Charles says he thinks it's 12 pounds, 2 ounce or something. But I don't know, whatever it is. My thoughts are, not only are you taking that huge fish, turning it loose, giving yourself or someone else a chance to catch it, because I have caught that one big one, and it wasn't 6 pound, 11 ounce. I can't remember. I think that old girl was like 5 something. But caught that one 3 times. I just caught this one twice now. Turned it loose, so I've got a chance to catch it again, or somebody else to catch it again, at least. And if everybody has that mentality, you're going to go around catching big fish all the time. Problem is, nobody's got that mentality nowadays. I mean, I'm not saying nobody, but it's less prevalent than it was. Like before, I don't think you could hardly watch a fishing show, whether it be Jimmy Houston, Bill Dance, Hank Parker, even down Jerry McKinnon, like, preaching the catch and release. Like back when the BASS first started, they really didn't start that way, but then they caught on real quick. Like they were kind of, between them and just the mentality of people, they were kind of like we're doing nowadays today, decimating some very good fisheries, and in no time, kind of weeding them out. If you're not careful, you can. In other words, so it's like you take fishermen, the more experience and knowledge they get at catching big bass, and they're catching them and keeping them. Well, it's just a matter of time before you're basically catching them at 2 and 4 pounds. They never get a chance to get 6, 8, 10, 12. So at what point do you say, okay, turn them back? So I haven't even followed the full, or I don't know the exact set as what they've got on like Lake Fork and some of these lakes that have that, they're basically trophy. That's what they want. They want to keep it like a trophy type lake. And so in my opinion, that's what almost everyone should kind of adapt to. You want to fish for food, go crappie fishing, catfishing, walleye fishing, whatever. And bass fishing, the slot limit, catch the whatever, because most of the time, those, I don't even know what size, and I'm not even going to argue over that, because that size does vary from place to place also, just like what is considered a giant from one region, one area to the next. But most of the time, it only will help to keep those out. In other words, there's a certain size in every place you go, just like there is with crappie, that you can't hardly catch too many out, that they're just, the next year or two there's going to be that many, and so sometimes weeding them down will let the ones that that are going to make it get that much bigger quicker, kind of thing. So anyway, I've had enough talk about that. I just wanted to get out there and let you guys know that that is the same fish. You'll hear me talk about it when you see that topwater video. I was kind of comparing the Whopper Plopper versus the Chapo again, sort of, but there's no comparison. They're basically the same bait. It's all just comes down to which one you like more. Save a couple dollars. You like a little lighter hooks, you can throw it on even a little lighter rod than what you can with some of the Whopper Ploppers and all that kind of stuff. They're basically the same bait. I got to go with the OG though, the OG Whopper Plopper over any of even the cheapies from AliExpress or the Chapo or whatever. Now there's a couple good colors in the Chapo. But so yeah, I got to get out of here. Get out there, catch yourself a 12-pound, 2-ounce largemouth bass. You still don't have a teener. You need a 13-1 or 13 even. 12 pounds is just a double digit. 10 pounds is a double digit. 13, that's a teener. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Get out, go bass and bonsai. Stay tuned. Watch the Poague videos. Another Poague video coming up at some point in time. Poague, Poague, Poague. Watch the Poison Journey video, too. See y'all later. See ya, chicken fried steak.